Hello and welcome along to VLOG58. My name's Steve and this is superBRICKS. Now before we get into this week's vlog, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to our very first channel member. I can't really pronounce the name, it sounds a bit like "ruh," but thank you. I really appreciate you supporting the channel. It really does mean the world to me. So you are our first and only channel supporter. Now if you'd like to help out and support the channel, there's a join now button below. It costs £2.99 a month in English pounds, which is not a lot, but it really does help support the channel and helps make these videos. Now if we do get more supporters, I'll quite happily make some exclusive content or do a live Q&A or anything that you guys would really like to see. So like I said, if you'd like to support, please do hit that join below. Right, let's get on with the rest of the vlog. Right, so the first thing that I wanted to mention was actually something I started looking at last night. I was sat here and I didn't really want to start doing a big part out or starting to root through other used parts, and I suddenly remembered that I'd not added any of the stickers that came from the Brick Arena purchase, and I also had some stickers left over from the previous store purchase that I've just never got round to, and I thought that'd be a great little sort of exercise while I'm sat here watching a little bit of TV. So I just thought I'd show you my sort of original current method. Original current? Yeah. So it was using these really flimsy sort of pocket files. And you can see here that they're just sort of all loose. You can tell how tatty these things are. But the stickers are in there, that some of them are in their own sort of Ziploc bags. Some of them are loose. None of these are numbered. In fact, they're in my inventory as just uncategorized. There's no remarks against any of them. But obviously as stickers, I know where they're going to be. And that's here. Now, the original first store purchase I did start to label them. We've got here F1-001. But again, there's quite a few stickers in there, and so on and so forth. Now the problem with this method is that they really are sort of thin. When they're stood up, they tend to do this, just the force of gravity, and that means these stickers then start to poke out a little bit at the bottom, which tends to lead to sort of dog ears if you're not careful. So obviously I try to store this horizontal, but if you pick it up wrong, they all fall out the other end, and that again is a nightmare. So it's never really been an ideal solution, and I've always been looking out for a much better solution, and I'm pleased to say that Keith from Brick Arena had a much better system, and this is his folder. And what he's used are these sort of individual pockets. Now this is a lot thicker, so it's more sturdy in the folder, it doesn't slip around as much. And this particular one's got 9 pockets, so we've got 9 individual stickers in there, and it keeps them all kind of nice, neat and together, and you can easily see where they are. So these have now been labelled up. This is A01-001 and so on. And so I added these last night, created new brick store files for each one, got all the quantities double checked and filled them all up. Now the great thing is, there's just some empty ones, is they come in different sizes as well. So this one's a 4 pocket version for the slightly larger stickers. And then if I jump ahead a few more, there's a 2-pocket version as well for the even larger stickers. And these are great. These are all kept nice and neat, nice and flat. There's not been a single issue with any of them. I've still got to add these in. I ran out of time last night. But I just thought that was a really good method of doing it. I'm pretty sure Keith's featured this before on his channel, but I didn't pick up where these came from, and I still don't know, to be quite honest. I have looked for them in the past though, and you know, I could never find them. So I don't know what they're called, but I do think they work really well. And also, not just for stickers, these are obviously minifigure capes and sort of flags, the plastic type flags, and again great for keeping them all nice and flat. So there's more stock here to be added, but no doubt they're in the brick store file anyway, and I'll get them added at a later date. So that's what I was working on last night. Nice easy task. Lots of new lots got added. Not so much great quantities, but lots of lots. So it was a good exercise. So I'll finish that off at some point. Now, the back end of last week's vlog, I was talking about this brick store file with these minifigure parts. Now, I'm just going to get these consolidated and put away, and then we'll have a look at the brick store file and the upload into BrickMetrics. Okay, that's them all consolidated, and what was really good about that is that there was lots and lots of new lots, and most of them went in here. That's actually one of the advantages of having this kind of container with the multiple sort of slots, and lots of those parts, you know, just helped fill up some of these really nicely. There were a couple of parts that needed consolidating in other areas of the store, but that was kind of few and far between. But it was, yeah, really handy just having these. I don't really like them overall. They're a bit of a pain to get out and then pick from, but they hold quite a lot of lots. So, as I've said before, when space is a premium, it really, really makes the difference to sort of maximize the available space, and you've got to use whatever you can get your hands on, really. But they do work when you are short of space. Right, the brick store file. Now, when I mentioned this in last week's vlog, we were just short of 100 lots. Now, I've added a couple of minifigures. Obviously, when you're doing this kind of job, you end up with minifigures that are missing parts, and it's worthwhile creating a wanted list for those parts and trying to obtain them, because there's some good value in some of these, and hopefully just the replacement parts are going to be quite cheap. So I had that on the go, and I managed to find a part for one of those minifigures. So I've added that into the file, and then I kind of thought, well, look, I'm on 98. I might as well just add a couple more complete minifigures, which, again, I've got a stack of them in here. So I just added those in just to make it up to a nice round 100. And the brick store file is now valued at £92, which isn't bad. Right, so that's the file complete. All the remarks are all filled in, and any comments, and it's all been saved. So I'm just going to head over to BrickMetrics, and I've got 3 orders that I need to get picked. Hopefully, well, try and do that next actually. But let's go and upload them. Upload that file, I should say. And let's just see what happens. Now, this is the file we're working on. It's dated the 8th. It's a couple of days old. Okay, let's just recheck metrics for any missing parts. There's only a couple, which is great. And it's valued at £90.87. So the value's gone down a few pounds. But that's to be expected, because my pricing formulas are based on sell-through rates. So obviously some are going to go down, some are going to go up, which is absolutely fine. So I'm going to have a quick check of these. I think everything's all right. I'm not seeing anything at the moment that's standing out. As you can see, lots and lots of new lots. You can tell that by this column here, stock on hand is empty, which is always nice to see, because it does mean that's lots of new lots being added. Yeah. All right. So let's export to BrickLink. I'll just paste and verify. And there we go. Let's just make sure. I'm just scrolling just to make sure there's no error boxes or anything. So we've got 110 items, 100 lots. Then there's the £90. So that all matches. So let's upload. Right. I'm just going to move back over to this screen just so I can go and find the correct one. Right, here we go. So this is the store list for the United Kingdom. Just noticed that 2009 stores. Now that's gone up probably about 30 stores in the last few weeks, I think. I've not noticed it over 2000 for a long time. So is that stores coming back and reopening, or is that brand new stores? Don't really know. Okay, so there we are. We're kind of not quite in the sort of top half of page one when it comes to lot count, even though we're at 17,751. Now let's just refresh. I'm going to reach over here. And where are we now? Still there. Oh, apologies. It's not easy to see, is it? 17,828. Look at that. 8 off the Phoenix brick. We nearly overtook you. But that's added. What's added? 60, 70 lots. Fantastic. Really pleased with that. All for just a few hours work on Sunday afternoon. Marvellous stuff. Right. Or was it Saturday? I actually can't remember when I did it. Okay. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So it's 1:30. I've got a little bit more time. What I might start doing is tackling some of this. It's another really useful trade. Now, actually, when I saw this one, it kind of reminded me of what happened when we picked up all the stock from Brick Arena. And as you can see, there's a little bit of damage here. And a bit off the front here. And that's because this tray ended up on the floor. I've got a feeling it was outside the storage unit. I think I filmed it, or I filmed a bit of it. And these are the parts that remained inside the drawer. So these didn't end up on the floor. The ones that ended up on the floor were all washed and quality checked, and they've been uploaded as used. So this is all still sort of new. It's all mixed together. I will give it a bit of a check just to make sure that there's no obvious damage, but this should hopefully be okay to list as new, including these things. I've already listed a load of these from the bulk. This is another one of those parts that just, you know, will hardly ever sell. And just on that, I mentioned it in last week's vlog about some parts from the video range. So just to let you know, in the end, I uploaded it. It's still in the original really useful drawer, but I thought while I've got the space upstairs at the moment, I'll add it to the store, see if any sell. But I think I might come back to it at a later point. If I ever reach the point where the store is absolutely physically full and I can't fit any more in, then I think that might be an exercise I carry out. And it won't just be that drawer. I think I'll be looking at any part, especially the bigger parts that just aren't selling. And I might just chuck them in with the, you know, within the rejects probably. separate them out a little bit and just try and sell them through like that, I think that the space will become too valuable just to store stock that's not moving. But like I keep saying, we still have plenty of room to expand into in the new, and we've got a load more on the other side in the used. And while that's the case, I will add the stock to the store, and I'll just revisit it at a later date. Right, I best get cracking. Okay, so I've managed to get half of that really useful drawer sorted out, and that's all in front of me here and uploaded into a Brickstore file. The other half I've still got to sort out. It's actually one of those tasks that I can do sort of in the evening as I'm, you know, chilling out or watching a bit of TV or something. I'll get all of that sorted out. I managed to take out obviously the bigger pieces, which are now done. But that also kind of reminded me of the tray that's been sitting underneath. Last week when I did those video type parts, I think they were like the boxes or something, I remembered that I'd found another really useful drawer containing these. Now these are the straps, or the sort of handles that went on those boxes, and I thought, well, I better get these uploaded so that I've got the full set, if that makes sense. So I've counted those out, and they're on the bottom of this Brickstore file here. They just need to be uploaded and added to the store, which is the next task. After that, I've then got to go through these. Now these are the tiles that you get in those video boxes. I can't really show you them. I never did look at this range when it came out. It was something that just didn't interest me at all, to be quite honest. But I've got all of these different colours, and there's multiple different types, so that will certainly help increase the lot count. So that's the next task. I think that's going to be sort of this afternoon's job, and we'll get that tray hopefully emptied and into the store. Now then, in terms of orders, it's been really good. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but so far November has been absolutely brilliant. Up on last year. I kind of felt that last year was a bit weird, because we were obviously starting to upload stock from Brick Arena, and I think I expected the revenue, the sales to suddenly start increasing, and it felt like it didn't last year. I was obviously spending quite a lot of time sorting things out, but this year it just seems to be going really well. Touch wood, and I hope it continues, because it's certainly helping with the good old cash flow, which is a bit of a bonus. That's about it, really. I have just been looking at some sets that might make it into New Set Friday for East Midlands Lego Hire, but I couldn't really find anything that was at the right price. Don't have a huge budget at the moment, because we've got another set coming out towards the end of November, and of course we've got to get Home Alone ready as well. We do a special for Home Alone over the Christmas period. More on that later, but I do need to get those sets ready. I might ask my wife to help out with that. I'll see if she's in a receptive mood. I'm sure she will be. Right, okay, I better get cracking. Good afternoon. It's Wednesday. I had to think then which day it was. But it is Wednesday, and it's been a crazy time. So in the last clip, I was talking about some of the really useful drawers that I was sorting through and going through some of the video related items, and these are the tiles that were also in the same drawer. Now I had to go through each one and double check that we had the right part number. I know I had the right quantities. They're all new, so the quality wasn't an issue. And then obviously get them all consolidated into the store, which was actually really easy because I haven't got any of these whatsoever in my store. So it ended up adding, we can just focus, there we go, 72 brand new lots, 793 items. Now I did that yesterday afternoon, and I did think about filming a little bit, but then I just thought, you know what, it's probably not that interesting. But then it just went crazy. I decided to get the orders done that had come in sort of during the afternoon, and there was a few of those. And then I got a huge order. It was about 130 lots. And the only problem with that order was it was only worth about £16, so it was a little bit soul destroying. But nevertheless, an order is an order. So that was 130 lots that I picked early evening. So after that, I kind of sat down again thinking, do you know what? I am going to try and crack on sorting out that other drawer. It's actually underneath the one you can see, and try and just organise all the parts. And then I got another order. In fact, I got another 2-3 orders, I think it was. So that meant picking again. So I was picking that. And it ended up, the evening just ran away. It got to about, I think it was about 11 o'clock last night. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to call it a night. I'm quite tired. I managed to get all of the orders packed, ready for address labels this morning. Now this morning, I woke up to another order of over 100 lots. The value was a little bit better, which was great. But I always try and make sure that the orders that have come in the day before or the night before get packed and out to the post office in the morning. And that's what I cracked on with first thing. So I managed to do it. Like I say, it was just over 100 lots in one order. There was another order of about 20, but they were all quite small. So we got both of those done and all the orders out. So yesterday, in terms of target, we absolutely smashed it, which was fantastic. It was a great start to the day. I was really pleased. Now then, this morning, I had an appointment to go to. So I kind of decided that I would take the morning off. I wasn't going to do any work, which all worked out really well. When I came back this afternoon, I thought I will crack on. And what I've managed to crack on with is emptying out more of the really useful drawers. This is the second brick store file that I've done. The first one was arches and sort of some slope bricks as well. These are all 1x4s, 1x4 plates, and a couple of extras. There's a couple of sort of 1x2 tiles there and some brackets over there, but mainly 1x4 plates. These are all used, so a nice little addition to the store there, because I think my 1x4s are actually quite low. So that's all good. Now then, the other thing that I did yesterday afternoon is I caught up with Noah from the Brick Shed. So for those of you who don't know Noah, he has a YouTube channel called the Brick Shed. He's based over in Australia. And he operates almost the largest store in Australia. It keeps changing, but he's right up there in terms of store size. Now he's currently taking 4 months out. He's traveling across the globe, really. He's been to Thailand. He's over in the US at the moment, and he's heading into Europe shortly. Now, one of the things he did in the US was he organised with some other BrickLink sellers a kind of convention, a bit of a get-together with some of the other YouTubers and other BrickLink sellers, and it was it was well received. It was really, really good, and it was good for everybody to get together and sort of network and meet each other and have a few days talking about Lego, talking about BrickLink, talking about your experiences and so on. And Noah has suggested to me that we do something similar over here in the UK. So in our BrickLink and BrickAll UK group, Noah has posted today asking if anybody from the UK is up for meeting probably in January. That's when he's coming over to see me, certainly. And we're thinking that round about that time, we will try and organise a little bit of a get-together. That is as far as it goes at the moment. We haven't organised a venue or even a location, but we've put it out there just to see if anybody is interested. And so far, there's already been quite a handful of people saying that they're up for it, which is fantastic. But if you do want to meet up, if you do want to sort of get together, have a look at the Facebook post and express your interest, and then we'll start making some arrangements. So more to come on that, but that's pretty exciting for January. Right then, I think that's it for today. I've got about half an hour left, so I'll probably get those 1befores uploaded into the store, which would be good. The orders are all up to date because I did have another order that came in this morning. Again, quite large actually. Another regular customer, but they wanted a 24-hour service, so their order's been picked, packed, and has already gone. So I'm pretty much up to date, and it feels good. The office is looking tidy-ish. Well, it is for me, and yeah, we are certainly cracking on. Good morning. It is Thursday and it's 7 a.m. and I thought I would just quickly jump on just to talk about this order here. We've got these quite unusual parts. I think they're from Ninjago, possibly off a minifigure, but I don't know that range well enough. But these were, well, one of these was £3, one of them was £2.50. So a nice little order to start the day off, and just an extra kind of weapon, I think that is. So that's going out today. The rest of the orders are already picked and packed, including this one here. This one contains one of the sticker sheets that we uploaded earlier on in the week that came from the Brick Arena stock. So that was really nice to see going out. So like I said, just a small amount of orders overnight, which is not brilliant, but of course every order matters. Now then, the other news, well, it's not really news, I suppose. The Facebook post that went out yesterday from Noah, talking about a sort of convention get-together. Wow, what a response. Loads and loads and loads of people interested in having a meetup, which is absolutely fantastic. Really, really good, including Chris from the Great Brick Lab. I'm not quite sure how serious his comment is, but yeah, that'd be great if you can come over, Chris. That'd be awesome. But we'll see. So hopefully me and Noah will have another conversation in the next few days and see if we can start making some arrangements and plans for the next phase, including where on earth are we all going to meet. It looks like there could be quite a lot of us. Now then, today, what am I going to do today? Well, as per normal, busy morning, doing some pre-coding and updates with BrickMetrics. And then this afternoon, I actually really fancy doing a part out. It just means clearing this area up. One of these drawers is to go upstairs anyway, but only when it's full, so that can just stay down here. Now the other drawer's got that all those mixed parts in, which I still haven't been able to get through and sort out, so I might just have to find somewhere for that temporarily. And then if I clear the rest of that, I can probably do a part out, but I'll have to choose a set as well, which means going upstairs and having a route around. See if we can find something. Right, I'm going to get these orders finished. I've got that one just to pack up and get the labels produced. Okay, so I decided to part out set number 40521. This is the Disney Haunted Mansion. Now, I picked these up possibly earlier in the year. I think they were on a clearance deal or something like that from Lego. I think, from memory. I do remember seeing them somewhere on a clearance deal. Anyway, I got 5 of them, and I kind of wanted just to do a small set, just because of limited time. I don't even know the piece count, to be quite honest. And as per normal, the first thing I do is open the boxes, get all the bags out, get them all piled up into the matching bags before adding them all into my trays. And as I was putting all the bags together, I noticed something odd with bag number 4. Now, in each box, there were 2 of these, and they look very similar, which obviously made it hard when you're trying to, you know, group everything together. But I kind of initially thought, oh, I bet it's something like a left-hand side or a right-hand side of the mansion. You know, it might be just a sort of mirrored build, and that's why there's 2 bags that look really, really similar. So I just put them together and carried on. However, in the next box, I got this bag 4 and one of those. And you can see in this one, there are some red plates and even some sand green in there. And there's a little bit more dark bluish grey. And of course, it just looks different. And I thought, oh, okay, so there should be one of those and one of these in the set. Well, that's not good. So I've carried on, and overall, it looks like out of the 5 sets, 3 of them are wrong. 3 of them have got this duplicated bag 4, and only 2 of them have contained that. Which, I'm either very unlucky or I've made a mistake, and somewhere else, you know, the main bag 4 over here, I wonder if there's a difference in that. I don't know yet until I actually sort of cut these open, get them all emptied, and then start sorting them through. But I'm going to have to take real good care when I come to bag 4 to make sure that either we confirm that we've got a double bag and it's a mistake, or there's something else going on that's changed these quantities. It's going to make this part out quite challenging, to be quite honest, because now I don't trust the inventory that I'm going to get from Brickstore. Nothing to do with Brickstore, it's not their fault, but that's going to, you know, import the correct quantities, and these just might be completely wrong on, you know, quite a few lots, because there's quite a bit in there, and they're all small parts as well, which is equally frustrating. So this part out might now take a bit longer than I originally expected, but you know, I might just put some music on and just get stuck in and see how much of this I can do. Right, I better get cracking. Okay, there we go. All of the parts now have been sorted out, and they're all in the plastic tubs. Now, what I decided to do as I did this part out was I reordered the Brickstore file into colour order, and then simply started with black, obviously, and started to organise the pots as I was going through the bags. The simple reason for that was just to double check that the quantities were all correct and there weren't any further errors in the picking of the packing of that Lego set. But also to see if it helped speed up the process, because obviously I'm very limited with space. I've only got this area over here for actually doing the unbagging and sorting out into the containers, and then I've only got this area to put the final containers with all the individual parts. I suppose in a way it was hampered by the fact that we got those extra bag 4s, or the wrong bag 4s, as I mentioned, and that was definitely the case. It wasn't an error anywhere else. 3 of those sets literally had the wrong bag. Okay, but anyway, the net result of that is there's actually an extra 300 parts in this part out. The total number of items is 3,641. Now each set only had 680 parts if you break down the minifigure. which, yeah, means an extra 300, which I suppose is not bad. I haven't really looked at the value, but I can imagine it's just slightly higher. So the next step now is to get this consolidated. I've already imported the store and got all the remarks up to date, but now I need to put all of this away and then push the brick store file through BrickMetrics and get all the pricing right before I finally do the upload into BrickLink. So that's going to be my task, I think, for early afternoon. It is Friday today and the weather is miserable, so it's going to change our weekend plans a little bit. I have got a busy weekend coming up with lots of family related stuff, and so this is the end of the vlog. Thank you very much for watching if you've made it this far. We'll be back again next week, but I probably won't record any content now over the weekend, and we'll just start fresh on Monday. So have a great weekend, although when you see this the weekend will nearly be over, but I will catch up with you all next week.